You're being so clever. The strength of the fish is matched by the intensity of the sauce, the strength of those clams, and then the crunch of the walnuts, which are slightly sweet and just knock your palate back again. It's fantastically delicious.
For his starter, David has made winter salad of pigeon with beetroot and Jerusalem artichokes.
First thing I pick up is a little bit of sweet acidity. Then into the nice softness of the beetroot, crunch down on your nut. What can I say? Simple dish highlighting the best of the season's produce. It's good.
Thank you.
There is an extraordinary example of great flavours from what is fantastic British ingredients. Acid from the dressing, Jerusalem artichokes. It's fantastic.
I'm absolutely delighted that you think that, because I put a lot of work into that.
To follow, his main is halibut with walnut crust on a bed of leeks with a clam sauce.
Creamy, but still light sauce. Beautiful soft fish, crunch of the nuts on the top. Packed full of flavour. Very nice. Very, very nice.
You're being so clever. The strength of the fish is matched by the intensity of the sauce, the strength of those clams, and then the crunch of the walnuts, which are slightly sweet and just knock your palate back again. It's fantastically delicious.
He's finished his menu with a fig, almond and mascarpone tart with a port and honey syrup.
Now, this is rock hard solid.
This is the mistake that I made.
Well, just to give some idea, look, excuse me a minute.
I know.
Yeah.
So that was my, as far as I'm concerned, that was my big mistake.
A little bit of honey, whiskey at the end. It's a beautifully flavoured cream. I don't think it's enough. I think it needs another sensation in there.
I was hoping that the port and honey syrup, which is turned into caramel, would have cut through that, which was the whole idea, basically, because it was always going to be a very light, crisp tart.
Yes, of course. Ah.
Delicious buttery pastry. A little bit of caramel on the side and a touch of fig gives it the flavour. I know you made the mistake with the sauce, David, but we are almost there with that tart. It needs a little bit of work. But promise, David, promise.
Marta's sticking to food from her homeland with a starter of sorrel and potato soup with egg.
The egg, of course, adds that different dimension to it, and the potato gives it texture. And it's a really lovely, interesting soup of which I didn't expect it to have that rounded flavour.
For me, I think the sorrel on its own is too strong. Too earthy, too sharp, too sour. I'm not sure I could eat a whole bowlful of that on its own.
For her main, she's made roasted pork belly with Polish bigus, a form of sauerkraut.
Well, there's something I didn't expect at all. The sourness and the sweetness of the cabbage, and then the sweetness of the pork that goes with it. The pork's cooked absolutely beautifully. It's probably the nicest piece of sauerkraut I've ever eaten in my life, because, I suppose, it's biggest.
Absolutely.
The textures of the chewy, almost bouncy pork against the softness of that bigus is good. I think it's a shame we haven't got more crisp on the skin, because the fat underneath hasn't softened up that much, so you're still chewing through it.
To finish her 3 courses, she's made a chocolate pudding with poppy seed, almond paste and creme fraiche.
Really sweet, but not too sweet, slightly bitter. I'd be really willing right now to pick up the whole lot and eat it. It's delicious.
It's beautifully soft. The only thing is, if you saw me swallowing there, it's a little bit too dry when you first get into it. I think there should be a load of cream over this.
OK, that's easily done, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very easily done, but the flavours and the textures are beautiful.
Gillian has started her meal with braised wild hare and a pearl barley risotto.
I think the hare is cooked well. I think it's still slightly dry. And I think the pearl barley itself could probably be just a little bit more cooked so it goes a little bit more creamy.
Yeah.
But what holds it together, of course, is all those juices and the stock and that white wine.
The juice around it is heavenly, meaty, slightly gamey. I think your pearl barley could be a little bit softer. On the whole, I think it's very, very good indeed.
As a main, she's made roast partridge with ceps, salsify on a potato galette with a game jus.
I think the sauce looks fantastic. The consistency of it is amazingly sticky, which is good. Amazing amount of flavours, very, very rich. It is well done, well cooked, and very delicious.
The soft meat, the sticky, beautiful sauce, and those crispy potatoes, that whole thing is an absolute triumph.
Yes.
It is an absolute triumph. What can I say? What can I say?
Her dessert is blackberries on shortbread with an elderflower cream.
Sharp, sharp blackberries. The cream just softens it a little bit, but your shortbread is more like crumbly pastry. It's still very, very tasty.
Gillian, the matching of the whole thing here is absolutely perfect. I would like to have had a little bit more biscuit quality to my shortcake, but the whole thing is just a gooey, sweet, sticky delight. I'm guessing you already know you're in for a long wait. Go and sit outside. We'll get you back in as soon as we can, I promise. We knew we had some talent in this room, and by golly, we most certainly do.
I got to say, all three of them are amazing cooks.
Marta's food is difficult to compare with the others. The sorrel soup, very powerful flavour. The biggest, interesting flavour, but no crispness at all on the pork belly fat.
I've done what I should have done, and let's wait and see.
Marta only had one direction to go in today, and that was the food that she knows, that she grew up with as a youth. And she did it really well. But I won't even attempt to argue, because Marta is out of her depth right now.
It's a shame, but she has found herself cooking in the same room as two very talented people. To me, the exceptional cook of the day is Gillian. The work that went into that food was just amazing. Making a sauce for the pearl barley, cooking the hare, using the bird carcass to make a sauce. You look at all those ingredients and what she's attempting to do and you think, no way, no way. And she gets through it, head down, so focused.
I really pushed myself with my menu. It was very complicated, a lot of things involved, and at one point I thought, I'm just not going to be able to pull it all together in time. And I did, and I'm amazed and really, really happy.
The kid can cook. The kid worked so hard. She had more mess over a bench than I've ever seen in my life. But it's not just about that, is it? It's about how committed you are. Let's talk about David's food for a moment, OK? Halibut, beautifully cooked. Crust, really interesting. Great sauce, full of flavour, delicious. The guy put his heart into that main course. And I also believe he put his heart in that salad. All those wonderful raw vegetables. How tasty was that? The chard, the spinach, the watercress, the Jerusalem artichokes, the pigeon.
I was pleased with my first two courses. I'm really glad that they recognise what I'm trying to do. I can't believe I've got them dishes out there and that they were happy with them, you know, so I just pray and hope now.
Moved to his pudding and it did fall apart. Because the sauce didn't work at all, you were just left with this creamy, virtually empty, devoid of flavour tart.
Forget the filling at the moment. The promise for David is that beautifully made sweet crust tart outer, because it was completely perfect. He has potential, Greg. He has the love. He has the style. He's stuck to that style. He's consistent.
I do like David. I really like the guy's honesty and his guts. Does it compare to the work and the style of Gillian's?
OK, so what do we do?
Whose food do you want to see more of? Whose style do you love? Because I know whose style I love. What can I say? There is an enormous amount of culinary talent in front of me. Choosing one from you three is no easy task.
Because now the journey really starts. For one of you, it's going to be extraordinary. Our semi-finalist. David, congratulations.
You serious?
Well done, fella. Well done.